guys, and welcome back to our channel. My name is Nadia and this is Chris, and we are the Manning Circle. This video today is a little different from the other videos that you guys have seen. God actually spoke to me with a very clear voice, and he had said basically do the videos that we were intended to do when we first started this channel. So our channel isn't mostly just for challenges and pranks, even though that's what our thing says. And it's not like our main reason. Like, we really want to give the world a perspective of Jesus from what we have gone through. So that's why in our intro we have Jesus as a part of it. So we really want it to be the Christ that we have learned over the years of our lives. Because I mean, we've been learning about him even before we got together. We really want to give you guys a really good perspective of Jesus Christ, and that's why the video is, you know, why should I believe in Jesus? We are giving you the reason why we believe in Jesus. Chris is gonna start, and we really hope that lives are changed from this video. We really do intend for all of our, I was gonna say religious video, but I just want to say, like, to our relationship with God. Like, we want all of our videos pertaining to our relationship with God to really touch other people, and for people who can't really comprehend or understand where they're at or where they want to be, or know that where they are isn't where they want to be, we want help with that. So that is our main goal. I don't want anyone to get that twisted. Even though we may have a family soon, we may do challenges, pranks, and stuff like that, our main focus is God, and it always will be, and never will change. So the floor is yours.
Well, when I think about why I believe in God, there's a lot of different things that come to my mind. A lot of different things I've been through in my life, a lot of different situations I've gone through, a lot of different tests and trials that I've been through in my life that I've come out even stronger. One thing that I do want to say to anybody out there that wants to be a believer in Jesus Christ, I'm not just going to say God, because there are multiple different gods that people believe there are multiple different gods out there, and they believe different. There are different gods. However, we only believe in there is one true God, which is the Holy Trinity, which is God the Father, Jesus Christ the Son, and the Holy Spirit. For you guys who are struggling with what you want to believe in, and who are struggling with what do you think is really right, don't let anybody tell you that you can't believe in something. I've had people try to tell me that I can't believe in something. I've had people try to tell me that believing in Jesus or believing in a God is crazy. I've had people, even some of my close friends, come to me and say, why don't you just live your life how you want to? Stuff like that. Don't listen to those people. If you honestly want to believe in something, and I highly recommend you guys to do your research if you would like. We're not trying to force anything on any of our subscribers or anything like that. However, we are here, in the Bible it says ye are the salt of the earth. So we are here to spread the good news about Jesus Christ. We do have a holy commission that was given to us by God the Father, which is to go out and win souls for him. So that's what we're just trying to do. We're trying to spread the good news. And again, back to my point, don't let people tell you just live your life how you want to. My comeback for those guys, every time people tell me just live your life how you want to, I always tell them it's better for me to follow the Bible and live my life to be Christ-like than to just live my life however. Because if Jesus comes back, it says in his word that when he comes back, some people, the people who are not going with him, won't even know. Everyone else will be gone up to heaven, and everyone else will still be here. They won't even know that it happened. So when that day comes, when God does return, when Jesus does come for the second time, and he comes for all of his followers, it's better to have walked and tried to be more like him and live by the word than to have not done anything at all. Say Jesus isn't real. Say what we're telling you guys right now, it's not necessarily the gospel. We know, we believe, and we know that it is. But if you're having some sort of trouble with that, just possibly say right now that Jesus isn't real. And then everything that is in the Bible and everything about Christ followings and things like that, it's just not worth it. And it's not really real. Jesus doesn't come back. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, even though I followed this book, I followed the Bible, and there is no Jesus that comes back to save my soul and take me up into heaven, I have lived my life as a good person. I have lived my life by this book, which is going to in turn help me in my life. But then on the flip side, Jesus is real. He does come back the second time. And you just lived your life however you wanted to live your life. And you never picked up the book. You never gone to church. You've never given your life to Christ. Then you're going to be left here on this earth. And then your soul is going to ultimately end up in hell. Because that's where the non-believers go. Which is, it's sad. It's not sad to say, but a lot of people they shy away from that. They shy away from that word hell. But it's a real place. Heaven and hell is definitely two real places. Everyone loves to talk about the prosperity in heaven and things of that nature, but hell is a real place. So just remember that. That's my first point that I want to get across to you guys. Don't ever let anyone tell you just do what you want.
Yeah, because it's better to be right. It's like in my brain, so I wanted to say it.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to do everything this God says for some people who don't believe in him, right? It's better to do everything God says, do everything by the book. And if nothing was ever right and we're just here forever and there was no rapture, there was no nothing, at least you did it right.
Yeah.
If we died and we figured out everything we learned was wrong or whatever, at least you took the steps to do the right thing. At least you did the right thing, so regardless, you're safe on both ends. If you do it, if you do all these things, if you don't, you try your best not to sin, and you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do this, you don't do that, and you die and you're like, oh well, everything I read wasn't right, well, at least you still did it and at least you were safe. Rather be safe than to be sorry later down the line and say like, oh well, I never did it. So it's like, I'd rather sacrifice for Christ here, because I mean, obviously you see him working, so we know he's real, but just for those people who are just like, well, you just will never know, philosophers, something like that, we just never know. But it's like, I mean, regardless, you're safer just doing it. So yeah.
Right.
Better safe than sorry.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure.
So I'm just gonna go through like probably from my youth up until now. Just my life story is just a testament of why I believe in Jesus Christ and why I believe in God. Because like I said, he just took me through so much. So I played basketball in high school. I played for AAU basketball. I played for a team called Team Sizzle. I went to Rattletown High School. And I played on the basketball teams both there. My junior year in high school, I got recruited by a Division I school, Mount St. Mary's University. It's a private school. I actually have some of the gear on now. And I got recruited there. Yeah, and that's where we met. But we're gonna say that's for another video, how we met. But I got recruited by them my junior year in high school. And literally, I never forget the day my high school coach made me my junior year highlight tape. And that night, after he made it, I sent it to all the coaches that were recruiting me. I very vividly remember I sent it to one of my old head coaches at Mount St. Mary's, Coach Christian, my head coach. And I texted him that video. And I never forget what the text said. It said, if we offer you right now, would you accept it? And I didn't know what to say. So I act like I fell asleep for the night. I saw the text. I texted him back the next day after I showed my high school coach. So the next day I went to my high school coach. I'm like, Coach, look at this. Like, Coach Christian just texted me, if we offer you right now, would you accept it? And he said, boy, you accepting that. He's like, you accepting that. So I go to class, and literally Coach Christian called my high school coach, which was Coach English. And my high school coach literally went to my class, pulled me out of class, took me downstairs into the office, got me on the phone with Coach Christian, and I verbally accepted a full scholarship to Mount St. Mary's University. And just like that, I already knew God was in my life. Literally, I went to a Division I college and didn't have to pay anything. I played basketball in college and I literally didn't have to pay. I have no student loans. So my next year comes up, my senior year in high school. After our first game in my senior year, I break 2 of my fingers. That also showed me that God had my back, because had my high school coach not pulled me out of class and said, you're accepting this scholarship, who's to know what would have happened? God was always in the midst of that, because my junior year, I felt like I thought a lot of people don't commit to their senior year. I thought I had a lot of time. However, after my first game my senior year, I broke 2 of my fingers and was out the rest of the season. I probably played the last 5 games. So God was always watching over me in that high school stage. I get to college, I get to Mount St. Mary's, I meet the love of my life. Literally the things that we went through and things of that nature. Like I said, we're gonna talk more about that kind of stuff in the How We Met video, but just us growing together as a couple, the things that we've gone through, the things that we've done together that wasn't right by God. It wasn't by the book. But we acknowledge that we sin, we repent, and right now we still sin. Everybody sins.
Does,
yeah.
every day.
So just because we're in church and things of that nature and we're telling you guys about God, we don't want you to think that we're just trying to be all high and mighty, because that's not it. We sin every day. We fall short of God's glory. I actually have that scripture tattooed on me. For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God, which is Romans 3:23. Literally everyone sins.
And I think like sometimes church people, him and I talk about it all the time. Like we have a major issue, church people. We have a major issue with transparency. Like there's some people who do shy away from churches for just that reason, the lack of transparency. Mm-hmm. So it's like he's saying like people sin every day, but you walk into a church and you'd never know. Everybody's like to the nines and everybody's like, oh yeah, everything's fine, everything's okay, whatever. And I know, like, you know, don't go spewing your business all over the place and stuff like that, but just in honesty, if someone's asking you in church, you never know who you're gonna help, you never know who you're gonna trust. If someone's asking you, Chris and I go through stuff all the time. When people ask us like, hey, are you okay? We're like, yeah, I mean, we're okay. I mean, it could be better, whatever, and sometimes we do fall into that. We're like, yeah, everything is fine, everything is good, whatever, and we probably are like, oh, we hate life a little bit. But this is like the fact that he's saying this, it's very important, because it's like sin is real. People sin every day. Even the pastor that stands in front of you still sins every day. Not a single person is perfect. So as some church people lacking that transparency, we want you guys to know. That's why I want to make these videos and tell you guys, like, as 22-year-olds in a year of us really, you know, finding ourselves and figuring out who we are and stuff like that, like we just want people to know, like, Christ knows that we're not perfect.
Right.
God knows we're not perfect, hence why he had Christ. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't have had Christ if we were perfect. So
right.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, that's fine. That's perfect. What she said literally sums all of that up. We all sin. So don't ever feel like people around you who say they are followers of Christ is too good that they're too good for you to talk to or ask questions, things of that nature. And if anything, always ask us. You can always DM us on our social medias. You can always comment. We'll be having some sit-down videos and stuff like that to help you guys out. Mm-hmm. But I went to college, found the love of my life. Like I said, we went through things. And after my sophomore year at Mount St. Mary's University, I honestly didn't know where I stood with basketball. I wasn't playing as much. I really wasn't getting play time. I was doing all these extra workouts and all that stuff, and it felt like it just wasn't paying off. So I literally sat down and I prayed and I asked God, what should I do? And God clearly said to me, I needed to leave there. And I honestly didn't want to leave because I was at such a secure spot. And I have to think like, wow, I really didn't have to do much work to get recruited out of high school. Recruiters came to me, coaches came to me, and I didn't know how the process honestly worked. So I was scared. I'm like, do I leave? What are my parents going to think? Things like that. And again, full scholarship. How do I know that if I leave here, I'm not going to get a scholarship somewhere else? So all that stuff was going through my mind, but God clearly spoke to me and said I needed to leave. So that's what I did. My wife and I, we went to probably 4 different schools, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the NCAA rule is of a number of visits you can go on. I forget. I think it might be 5. I think
whatever it is, that's the one that we did.
Yeah.
We didn't go over.
Yeah, definitely. I think we went to even probably 3.
I think we went
to Shepherd, West Virginia, Wesleyan, and Bowie State.
Yes, because New Orleans was too far. And
correct.
We were,
yeah.
Running that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we went to. She was driving me around and stuff like that, and
everywhere,
literally. And we went to I went on different visits to different schools and stuff like that, and the place where I ended up being at, the school I ended up choosing was Bowie State University. And I knew God was in that, because how coincidental that I go to Bowie State University. My wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, of course, she lived in Bowie. And we were literally 15 minutes away from each other. So she moved off of campus because she had a part-time job while she was in school. So she moved off of campus and she commuted to and from school from her parents' house. And literally, I went to Bowie State and we were 15 minutes away from each other. Had she stayed on campus, had I went to another school in West Virginia where West Virginia Wesleyan and Shepherd was, we would have been 2-3 hours away from each other. But how awesome is it that God was literally in it, and I chose Bowie State to be at, and for that to be my new home. And it was only 15 minutes away from my wife. It's crazy. So then, I still got scholarship money. I didn't have to pay for school. So the same thing that I had at Mount St. Mary's University, I got at Bowie State. I honestly,
at a D2 school.
At a Division II school. I honestly did not have to pay for anything. And literally, God has literally been in all of that. Then I won a championship at Bowie State. I won the only championship outside of AAU basketball that I won was actually our senior year in high school, when I played the last 5 games. I think probably the first game I came back was our county championship at Randallstown, and I won that. But like a major championship, like a state title or a conference championship, I won that at Bowie my junior year. And I always wanted one. God is in that. And literally, when I was at Mount St. Mary's University, the biggest thing, I couldn't come to church because we had a lot of stuff to do. It's a Division I. Basketball is very, very strict there and things like that. So we had certain workouts and stuff on Sundays. And plus, it was an hour away. So it was hard for me to come to church and do that. Literally, Bowie State University, the apartment I lived in, was 15 minutes away from our current church. So I'm 15 minutes away from my wife, 15 minutes away from church, and now I can go to church. God is in that. He orchestrated all of that. Me moving from Mount St. Mary's to Bowie State, all of that was orchestrated. God has honestly been in so much of everything that has happened in my life, and it's honestly insane. Now I'm on the worship team at our church. I get to work in my one of my dream jobs, and I'm associate youth pastor. So God is literally working in my life from where I came from and now where I am today, married at 22 years old, associate youth pastor at 22 years old. Just the things that we're doing at this age, starting our YouTube channel, but just walking in God's calling and making videos like this for you guys, just being the salt of the earth and just doing that. God is orchestrating all of that, and that's truly a huge reason why I'm a believer. Just my story, my testimony, period.
So there are a lot of things in my life that I kind of hold on to, not to help me believe in Jesus, but it just continuously reminds me that he's there, and it continuously reminds me that he is working like crazy. And why we're saying the stuff that's happened, all the good things that have happened in our lives, is because for new believers, that's really important. Because for a lot of new believers, all they've been seeing is bad things, and all they've been experiencing is bad things. So it's like for someone new to hear like, okay, well, this is how God orchestrated it, this is what God did for me, and you can see God in certain things. Because if a lot of you who are watching this video right now honestly stop for a second and think about your life, you can find God in it, because he works for all of his children. He doesn't regret making any single one of us. He loves every single one of us more than we even love ourselves. So it's like, if you stop for a second and you think, oh, well, you know, this happened, this seemed to be like a divine appointment, this seemed good, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people can see God throughout their life. And I know some people just throw around like, oh, thank you God, when they get like one good thing, but have never talked to God, never read a Bible or anything. But you know, God works for his children. You literally never know. So for like, if you hear like how he was telling his story, you know, like good things that have happened in his life, it's like for a new believer coming and seeing this video, we want you to know that out of all the craziness, because there was a lot of craziness in the middle of a lot of what he said. So if he were to go through and break down every single thing and how it happened, all the hours it took of driving for all the different schools, like how hard it was for him and I to separate for the first, because I didn't stop going to Mount until the semester after he left. So that whole separation period, and me trying to get the part-time internship that I did have. So it's kind of like all the stuff that's in the middle of it. There was so much chaos with him and I, but it's just like God knew what he was doing the whole time, but it's just on us that we didn't know it at the time. So all that chaotic stuff, I mean, during the chaotic stuff, I know for me, I couldn't see the end of the tunnel. But I mean, just now, after all those times, I finally know how to look at the light at the end of the tunnel. But before I did it, so I used to just blame everything on God, blame everything on Jesus. Like, you guys don't care about me. But every single time, he has always come through. Every single time, he's always had a good come out of anything that him and I have been through, even before him and I got together, everything. So just my message to any new believer out there hearing us talk about the good things, it's just for us to tell you that Jesus is in those good things. All good things come from heaven. I actually think that that is the scripture for today. Hold on, let me look. Yes, it is. Whatever is good and perfect is a gift coming down to us from God our Father, who created all the lights in the heavens. He never changes or casts a shifting shadow. And that's James 1:17. Okay, so for me, God has been talking to me since I was in high school. So there was a time, I think, when I was in my freshman year at Bowie, because I went to Bowie High School first before I went to private school for high school. When I was at Bowie, I had a time where I think I didn't go to church for like a whole summer, like all summer I didn't go, or like the whole first, like my whole year at Bowie, I just wasn't into it. I just wasn't into it at all. So different things happened at Bowie, and I ended up going to Lighthouse Christian Academy. That is, well, was my church's private school, and that honestly did save my life. And there was a church service where our pastor prophetically, obviously God told him to tell me that my mom had saved my life by sending me to that school, and I am walking and living proof of that. So I've had, being in church has helped me mostly so much, because I know some people throughout my life really didn't understand why I went to church so much. Like every time somebody talked to me, they're like, oh my gosh, you're in church again, or you're doing this. Like ever since I started going to the high school at my church, that's when I went to church more. Before that, it was just like, oh, I don't really feel like it, I'm tired, I don't want to go. Like, you know, the regular young mind, just whatever. But from age, I want to say 15 or 16 on, when we were in Lighthouse, it was just life-changing completely. And I know not everyone can have that experience of having that one-on-one, like constant, you know, we're constantly talking about God, asking the hard questions. Why does this happen? And why does God allow this to happen? And stuff like that. So we had the privilege of having answers to those questions, and a lot of people don't. Then I went to Mount, which was a blessing to me, because I was always so used to small classes, and that's what Mount had, because Mount was a small university. So it's like they had good sized classes for me, because I was petrified, because I didn't want to go to like a University of Maryland where there was like 40 or 50, 60, 70 kids in the class, and I'm losing my one-on-one. So all of my professors at Mount, everything, we were always one-on-one, and I just loved it. But through that whole process, I've had so many crying sessions. Like I am a planner and I am a doer. So I had my whole life planned out. She
has mean tunnel vision.
And
it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because
yes.
When she sets her mind out for something, she's like, I want that. Like, say you guys have, what's your favorite candy? What's your favorite cereal? She doesn't eat candy like that. She loves Flakes. Say you guys have a box of Frosted Flakes, and she sees it. She sees the box of Frosted Flakes
in this big obstacle course,
and she sees like there's fire hoops in the middle of her, and black ice on the ground, and a whole bunch of crap. She sees it, and she's like, I'm going to get it. She goes straight for it. But on the flip side, if she does go straight for something, and she kind of like sees something along the way, and she's like, oh, like it'll kind of mess her up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Blessing and a curse at the same time.
Yes, it is. And like he said, it's a blessing and a curse. So.
And sorry guys, if our light just dimmed. Our light just dimmed, so If it looks like it just went, whoo, that's what it was. Our stage light, not stage light, but our light that we have up.
Yeah. With that being said, my whole life has always been planned out, and I have always known what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, how I was going to get there. And when I was picking colleges, everybody knows the story. Who knows me? I always wanted to go to Loyola. Loyola was my heart and soul. I did everything for Loyola. I went to all the not orientations, but all
like
of
open house things.
Yeah, all the open houses. They had like sleepovers and stuff like that where you can spend the night there and you can just do stuff. I did everything with Loyola. The same, if not as much as Mountain does, but no scholarship. And then Mount offered me a scholarship. So obviously my mom was like, and Mount offered me the most scholarship out of anybody else. So my mom was like, no, dude, you have to go. And I cried my eyes out. I was so petrified. I'm like, I've never been there before. I can't find anyone online. I can't find anyone on Twitter, Instagram. I couldn't find a soul who was going. I was just so lost and I was so upset. One of my pastors, again, God spoke through her to me, telling me that God had a gift there. Not a gift, he had a surprise at Mount for me when I got there. And just don't be afraid, relax yourself. I have a surprise for you when we get there. It's gonna be all right. Obviously, I take in my heart and soul, I honestly believe that my surprise is this little gem right here.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
I always think that, and we always say, like, we wholeheartedly think that we've gone, because Mount has been crazy amazing to me. I got my job, everything. Like, that has been the best school. I found the best friends. Like, Mount is amazing, and I miss it all the time. I always say, like, this precious gift right here was God's present for me, because he's like, I know that you're going through some things. This is my gift. So when him and I got together, it's like I was really God was really purging me. He was really getting down into me, because the person before him tore me to shreds. So it's kind of like he has changed my life. So again, I say, and this is all, and I don't want you guys to forget, I know this is a long video and I know our testimonies are a lot, but this is all just for someone out there to believe in Jesus Christ and believe in the person that he is, and that he's looking out for you and he's watching over you. Because when he came into my life, I wasn't looking for him, because I had someone. I wasn't looking for him. I wasn't looking for anyone. But at the day that I looked up at his face, I felt it in my soul. Like, I just knew it. And he doesn't believe me when I tell him, but the first night that I saw him and I looked up at him, it was just like, I just knew. I'm like, I don't know what this attraction is to you. I don't know why I'm so connected to you. I don't even know you, but I just know that I am so connected to you. And obviously we went to parties together, you know, freshman year. We went to parties together, and we did a lot of stuff. We had the same friends, and we talked all the time after that first night. But it was just a lot of different things going on. But I just knew my soul was just connected to him, and he helped me so much. This man has gone through so much with me. And I think God knew that it's going to take that one person who can deal with all that I had going on, because he knew that I was ripped to shreds. But he was willing to put up with me being ripped to shreds. And that's not me saying that God's going to send a man into your life to fix you, because not everyone needs that. That is what I needed, to fix me, to lead me and guide me on the way that I needed to go. But for someone else, Jesus can send something else, even if it's just him. Because even if you just have to sit in your room and just say, you know, Jesus, I don't know if you're real or not, but I heard this testimony and I just want to experience that fixing, to know that you can fix me. That is why I feel like he put him in my life for a reason, and that's why I am the person. And that's why I said in the video, in my wedding video, that I'm the person I am today because of him. Not saying that all my pastors and my parents and all my cousins and my sister and my brother didn't have an effect on me. What he had to deal with, no one else had to deal with, because no one knew that I was that ripped to shreds. So it was like I was horrible on the inside, and he's the only person who even saw remotely half of it, you know what I mean, like remotely part of it. So God has brought us here. We are married, we are together in our home, we are planning our lives out together. We get to sit down and think of the next 5 to 10 years. We don't know if Jesus is gonna come, but we get to sit and plan our next 5 to 10 years. We get to experience the rest of life together and just grow up together, because we are young, we are 22 years old, and we have our whole lives ahead of us to live our dreams and do whatever we want to do. But for anyone out there who is questioning, like, why should I believe in Jesus Christ? take these stories as something good to look forward to. And that's why we told our stories like that, because we want you to look forward to something. We want you to look forward to a great relationship with Christ. Yes, the world is crazy right now. Yes, there's so many people going nuts. There's so many people losing their lives senselessly. There's so much anger and so much hate. But think about it. The devil is real, number one. And we're going to get that straight on this channel. The devil is real. Hell is real. And there are real demons out there. There are people who are fighting real demons. I was fighting real demons. And it's like, you have to understand that at the end of the day. So you can't look at all the things going on in this world and just say Jesus isn't there, Jesus isn't real, God isn't real, because it wouldn't be happening. There are demons, and there is a very real devil in this world. But I think a lot of people are feeling so much anger and hate because the world pulls God out of so much stuff, because they set this high expectation for what they think that God should be doing for them, and when God doesn't do it for them the way that they want him to, they just knock him out of the park, and they're like, no, I don't want that anymore. So we just want you guys to know and to look forward to a great, God has so many amazing things planned for all of his kids, all of his children. If you're breathing and living, you are God's child, and he does not stop. Obviously the song, like, you know, Reckless Love, like, if you've never heard the song Reckless Love, you should go listen to it. He literally does not stop chasing and fighting after his kids, ever. It's us who decides to lock him out and put blinders on to him. So if anything, if you want to know why you should believe in Christ, literally he will change your life. He'll make you a better person. He will rock your world. He rocked Chris and I's worlds. And if it weren't for Christ, I don't know where I would be today, if I would even be alive. I don't know what would be going on. And our light just went out.
Our light went completely out, guys. Battery died. That means we're talking for a long time, but
yeah,
it's worth it. It's really worth it.
It is. We really want this to stick. We really want someone to listen to this and to tell themselves, like, you know, Jesus loves me and he wants better for me. If you're dealing with someone who's sucking the life out of you, there's no God in that. If you're unless you are going to try and get that person to be better for you, or you're going to try and take him to church, and the only way somebody can change is if God changes that person. You will never change anyone. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but you will never change anyone. The only person who can change someone is God. So we'll leave that one there. But believe in Jesus. Believe in who he is. Believe in what he can do for you. He can do so much stuff for you. And we just hope that after this video, you guys pray. You guys tell God, you know, I watched this video. I don't know what it will take for me to experience these good things you have for me, but I want to experience them, and I want to experience you in a crazy, amazing way. And let me get this out of the way too. You are going to experience hardships. You are going to experience hard things. You are. But at the end of the day, Jesus is there for you. He looks out for you. He covers you. He loves you. And everything you're going through just makes you better. All the craziness him and I have gone through makes us better together. And for the other people who are out there who come to us, we've learned so much through all of our hardships and through everything that we've gone through. And sometimes God just wants you to go through something for someone else so that you can go and tell that other person, like, hey, I've dealt with that. Here's what you can do in that situation. Just these lessons learned. Hold on to that. Don't give up on God, because a lot of people do that. They just let him go. But don't let him go. Just hold on to him. Trust him. Believe in him. And at the end, if you still don't believe in Jesus after all this, just think of yourself as a father who just found out that his wife is pregnant and you're going to have a baby. But you knew that when you found that out, that baby was going to die by people whipping him within an inch of his life. Think about that. No one would do that. I wouldn't give my son. I wouldn't. Fleshly speaking, if God told me to, I would, but I wouldn't just give my son up. I would not bring a child into an evil world knowing what they're going to do to him for sinners who are just going to throw him to the side. That is what I wouldn't do that. If you don't take anything that we said, just know that. Think of if you had a child and somebody was going to do that to him. So, yeah.
I was looking at my phone because I was trying to find this story that a pastor said that really actually sums up a lot of the stuff we're talking about. I couldn't find it, but I think I kind of remember how it happened. So there was this guy, and he had a wolf pup.
I love that story.
He had a wolf pup, and he groomed it, and it grew up in his house and everything like that. and the guy had a baby. So literally he loved this wolf pup. He kept him by his side and everything like that. And then one day the guy, he left, he went to the store or something like that. I'm just kind of thinking of how the story went.
Yeah.
He left, he went to the store, and he came back, and the baby's window was open. And then comes outside the wolf pup that he had. He had the wolf pup had blood all over his mouth, all over his fur, like all kinds of stuff, like just blood all over him. So the first thing that the guy thought was, literally, I stayed with this wolf pup, I did all this stuff, I watched you grow up in my arms, and the guy thought he killed his baby, and he ate him alive. So
did he kill the wolf? I don't know.
Yeah, he did. He killed the wolf pup. So I think he took a hammer or something and he bashed the wolf pup in his head. So after he bashed the wolf pup in his head, he runs up the steps to his baby's room. And what he finds is, he goes over to his baby's crib or whatever, and his baby is untouched, fast asleep, untouched. And then on the side of the crib, he sees another wolf pup. Blood all over him, bitten all up. He thought that the wolf pup that he stayed with and he groomed killed his child, but he didn't. He did that trying to save the child. And that's how we treat God sometimes. We'll say we're going to do something for God. We say we're going to, yes, God, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to believe in you. I'm going to do this. But we turn around and one bad thing happens and we just throw him to the side. Just like that guy. He thought that the wolf pup killed his child. So he bashed him in the head and killed him. One bad thing. The wolf pup did nothing wrong to him his entire life that the guy had him. Nothing wrong. But the one bad thing, he bashed him in the head. And it wasn't even a bad thing. He tried to save the baby. He saved the baby. He killed the other wolf pup. That's how God will do us. No matter how many times we throw God to the side, no matter how many times we go through trials and tribulations, and we try to say, God, I don't need you. I don't believe in you. You're not doing it for me right now. He will always try to do right by you. He always will do right by you. And he will try to always cradle you and save you and keep you away from demons. That's honestly what that story reminds me of.
Yeah.
So again, guys, when you're going through stuff, you're going through trials, you're going through tribulations, you just have problems, whether it be with a relationship, family, just within yourself. You may feel like you're not where you want to be. Young people, if you're at school, you may feel like you get bullied. You may feel like you don't fit in. You may not have the best clothes. You may not have the best look. People may talk about you. You always have a friend in Jesus Christ.
Yep. And
at the end of the day, that's the best friend that you can have. As long as you take one step, he'll always take two. And as long as you reach out to him, he'll meet you halfway.
And don't ever think that a relationship with Jesus Christ means that you're not going to have any problems, because you are so far, that is the farthest thing from the truth. If anything, the problems increase times 10, because either the devil's trying to attack you more because you're trying to obviously have a relationship with Jesus, or you're just being tested and tried and God's trying to make you grow, give you lessons to grow. So it's like you have to discern those things. You have to understand what is actually coming at you. But we really hope you guys, I know this was a really long video, and if you made it to the end,
amen.
Amen. Just take the time to pray. If you made it to the end and you sat through this whole video, just take the time to pray for a second. There's no fancy prayer unto the Father who art and blah, blah, blah. Just literally talk to God, open your mouth and just say, you know what, Jesus, I want to be saved. I want to know who you are. So we just hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And subscribe to our channel. You will have more ministry videos, a lot shorter than this. But we did pray before this video and asked God for us to say everything he wanted us to say. But all right.
Awesome. That's everything we have for you guys today. We love you guys.
Yes,
Manning Circle all day. Share this video. Subscribe to our channel. Turn on your post notifications. Hit that little video. Hit that bell button. Hit that bell. Hit that bell button. Hit bell button. Hit the bell button. And we'll see you guys in our next video. Love you guys.
We love you. Ow. We love you.